A couple years ago, I basically did a series of videos where I talked about my 10 favorite movies from 1996 to the current state now. So I figured, why not just have which ones in? Especially since a couple of my picks have changed, honestly. So I think it'd be a fun thing to do. So here's my picks for the 10 best movies I saw in 1996. Number 10, The Nutty Professor, classic Eddie Murphy comedy. Number 9, 100 Wild Dalmatians, one of the best live action remakes in my opinion of Disney. To be fair, 1996 doesn't have the strongest outlet movies, honestly, but it's still a great movie. Number 8, The Rock, probably still up there as one, if not McAfee's best movie in my opinion. Number 7, Aladdin and the King of Thieves, probably in the way of being the best Disney direct-to-DVD sequel, honestly, you know that's not really saying much, but it's definitely one that has some quality at least. Number 6, Independence Day, one of my most rewatched movies and one of my best childhood movies. Again, that ending does kind of bring it down a little bit, but it's still a pretty great movie that I always enjoy coming back to. Resurgence still go fuck itself. Number 5, Jerry Maguire. A very charming, interesting, and fun movie with Tom Cruise giving a great performance. Again, has some corny dialogue, but the best corny dialogue. Number 4, the original Mission Impossible. Man, Tom Cruise had to wait 2 months this year actually, but yeah. Yeah, definitely started with one of the best action franchises of all time, and just an incredible action movie that's more definitely may be hard to get into, and more definitely has a story that's complex than one of the other movies. It's still a great one. Number 3, Space Jam. Welcome to the Space Jam. Alright. Again, one of my most rewatched movies of all time. Always a good time whenever I come back to it. Number 2, The Hunchback of Notre Dame. One of the best Disney movies ever. But my number 1 is still Scream, my favorite movie and my favorite horror franchise. That's my book pick for my 10 favorite movies in 1996. I'm planning to do the same for the other years I've done this on. A couple of years actually have changed for other ones, so I figured it's kind of going to be funny to do. But let me know yours down below in the comments. Let me know your favorite movies for 1996. Now those are what I think were my top 10 best movies of 1997. The 10 movies that I saw were the best that year. Number 10, Con Air. If it's just dumb, fun, Nicolas Cage movie. Nothing more than that, but you know, I like the Nicolas Cage movies. Number 9, The Fifth Element. I'm really nostalgia for this movie, honestly, but I still do have a great time when I'll come back to it. Number 8, Liar, Liar. A iconic Jim Carrey movie that has like so many iconic, hilarious moments. Again, Jim Carrey being his Manzini, but often a heartfelt story as well. Number 7, Face Off. Really add things to the performances and to the zany the film not knowing what its premise is, honestly, and it really embracing it so well. Number 6, Scream 2. I still obviously for the original Scream, honestly, but Scream 2 is actually no slouch either. Definitely a worthy sequel, and the fact that it only made it 9 months after the original, and the fact that it was still this good, it's pretty impressive. Number 5, Hercules. An iconic Disney classic that is still hilariously watchable to this day, and he is probably like a top tier Disney villain in my opinion. It's just weird ways to keep bringing it back in the March. Number 4, the first Austin Powers. I sometimes forget how good and hilarious the Austin Powers because the 2 I actually rewatched them. And I don't think the first one's probably still the best. Obviously, the other 2 are no slouches either, but the first one is still probably an iconic comedy when I'm like mine is. It's probably I think it's probably from the probably made him a star after 2 years now, and it's so freaking hilarious. Number 3, Men in Black. Men in Black. Again, during this again, still iconic. I mean, still the best franchise by a long shot, and the point of being another one, like, so I'm not sure I feel about it, honestly. Number 2, Princess Mononoke. I probably want a top 3 Studio Ghibli movie, honestly, without question. Like, there's a reason why it's pretty much still iconic for a reason, because it's truly an iconic movie. Movie with some of the most, like, it's still I don't even say about Princess Mononoke, but my number 1 is actually still Good Will Hunting. One of the most relatable movies of all time. That alone puts it at number 1. But I don't think I need to say how great Good Will Hunting is, because it's has one of the best screenplays ever, some of the most emotional moments ever, and has one scene that's probably in my top 10, top 5 scenes of all time. I'm not making that up. I'm pretty sure you guys know what scene I'm talking about. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. But those are my top 10 best movies. Those are making the 10 best movies in 1997. Definitely let me know your picks down below in the comments. Here are my picks for the top 10 best movies of 1998. Number 8, Basketball. Again, pretty underrated comment, honestly, that it's a film that just made a couple of nostalgia vibes, honestly, because I watched a lot of movies growing up, but it's just an underrated hilarious comedy, honestly, with some really solid performances. Number 9, Blade. Again, Wesley Snipes, vampires, what more can I ask for? Number 8, The Wedding Singer. Might be one of Adam Sandler's best movies in my opinion. Definitely cliched, but it was 1990s honestly, so it's all cliche, but it's still a very charming movie. With Adam Sandler and Drew Barrymore give some of their best performances. Number 7, The Big Lebowski. I'm not sure a lot of people are going to be down. This movie's only number 7, honestly, not high, honestly. Again, maybe I need to watch it at some point, honestly, but Lebowski is still an iconic movie I still need to put on the list. Not sure. Anyway, number 6, Mulan. Another great movie Disney, honestly. Great music, good performances, and just a pretty compelling narrative as a whole. Number 5, The Bride of Chucky. The best child's play movie in my opinion, and one of the most rewatchable horror comedies. Number 4, The Truman Show. One of the most rewatchable Jim Carrey movies. Number 3, Rush Hour. Again, Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker, the best. Still probably might be the best of the Rush Hour movies. And probably actually getting Rush Hour 4 at some point in case of Trump, so we'll see how that goes. Number 2, The Prince of Egypt. Again, honestly, the film that definitely pro-troops on that, but I want to say the movie that did that. At the time was probably DreamWorks' most underrated movie, but it's gonna be a cult classic all these years later, and it's a movie that gets better with age, it gets better on rewatches. I love Prince of Egypt. Well, my number 1 is still one of my favorite Spielberg movies, probably the best war movie of all time, and that is Saving Private Ryan. Again, everything I love about war movies is here, honestly, and perfection, just 0 ratings, but it's a movie that breezes by as long length, honestly, and while it's a movie I don't come back to very often, the experience and the awesomeness of it does put it at number 1 in my opinion. Those are my picks for the best movies of 1998. Let me know yours down below in the comments. Here's my picks for my top 10 favorite movies of 1999. And then actually a couple changes. Actually, only most just switching a couple movies around this list, honestly. But my list is mostly the same, honestly. It's just the same movies. I just switch a couple movies. Number 10, Big Daddy. Always been one of my favorite Adam Sandler movies and a joy to watch. Number 9, The Green Mile. I think it was originally number 8 on this list, but I think the lack of rewatchability does put it down one spot, but it's still a fantastic movie. And then we get to The Mummy at number 8, which I didn't actually watch, and sometimes forget how good that movie is. And my son sounds really listening with number 7 being being American Pie, Miss American Pie. Number 6 being Tarzan. Again, there's a lot of Disney movies always make my list, honestly, but hey, this was good around this time, so there we will. Number 5, and again, number 5 being The Sixth Sense. Yeah, Emma Shyamalan's like masterclass of her debut. Yeah, what she said all along the lines. Then we have The Iron Giant at number 4. One of the most underrated Aaron Cole has for a reason. The Matrix at number 3. Toy Story 2 at number 2. And The Fight Club at number 1. My opinion, always been my personal David Fincher film. What's my top 10 list though? Let me know yours down below. Here I'm updating to my top 10 best movies of the year 2000. Number 10, Digimon the movie. I think it's very nostalgic. That's why Digimon the movie is only number 10, honestly, because I acknowledge the movie is a heavily flawed movie, but again, I love Digimon, so and it's one of those type of things. We all have those type of movies, so. Number 9, Meet the Parents. Again, very charming Ben Stiller, Robert De Niro movie, and just one thing the movie, the character is really good. Still the best movie of this franchise. Still not working and no one this year later, but we'll see how it goes. Almost Famous at number 8. I feel like I definitely need to do for a rewatch, honestly, but it's definitely still a great movie nonetheless. Number 7, the original X-Men. I still love the X-Men movies and the original one. While it is dated in a few aspects, I still love to come back to the original X-Men. Number 6, American Psycho. Not sure I'm going to be number 6, honestly, but I think Chris Bell has incredible performance and just movies I enjoy more, but it's still a fantastic movie. Number 5, Castaway. Robert Zemeckis, what happened to you? You used to make good movies like this! Number 4, Gladiator. An incredible historical epic I don't think I need to say anymore. Russell Crowe's still the man. Number 3, Memento. Pretty much the film that made Christopher Nolan a household name, and for good reason. Number 2, The Emperor's New Groove. One part Disney's probably most hilarious movie in general, one of the most rewatchable. But my number 1 still is M. Night Shyamalan's Unbreakable, still his best movie. But those are my picks, my favorite movies of 2000. Let me know yours down below in the comments. And now we get to my top 10 best movies of 2001. And mostly, the same. Number 10 being Jeepers Creepers. Sometimes I get how good the first 2 weeks until we watch it, actually. Again, it's fortunate that the other films have not been the greatest, especially 3 and don't get me started on 4. Number 9, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. The start of one of the most beloved and most, unfortunately, not the beloved franchise nowadays anymore, but the original Harry Potter 25 years later is still incredible. 25 years, damn! Number 8, Lovecraft Tomb Raider. Probably one of my favorite reality. It's just one of the most unnaturally fun movies ever. And I appreciate more now. And also, I think I appreciate more now that I played the Tomb Raider games. Number 7, Legally Blonde. Again, Reese Witherspoon makes this character on this reason why Elle Woods is so iconic, because she kind of is. Number 6, Atlantis the Lost Empire. One of Disney's most underrated gems. And Milo is so autistic coded. Number 5, The Royal Tenenbaums. One of Wes Anderson's best movies in general. Truly a phenomenal film and some of his best work. Number 4, Monsters Inc. One of my favorite Pixar movies and one of their most rewatchable. Number 3, Spirited Away. Studio Ghibli's magnum opus. Number 2, Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring. The star one of the most beloved trilogies of all time. But my number 1 is still the original Shrek. Again, I do plan to make a video on the Shrek franchise at some point. I mean, it depends on when it gets uploaded, but again, original Shrek, one of my favorite movies of all time, probably my most rewatched movie of all time. So, but it's my picks for the top 10 best. Let me know yours down below. Here are my picks for the top 10 best movies of 2002. Number 10, The Ring. The Ring. The Ring, again, a classic horror movie that's really well done and great, and has some of the scary sequences in a horror movie. And there are actually a couple changes actually on the list, honestly, but number 9 is actually now Insomnia, actually. It's now, I think it goes in the top 5, not top 5, but it's not that I liked it last, honestly. Honestly, it's just, maybe probably just got better, honestly. But Insomnia is still a great and underrated Christopher Nolan movie. Number 8, 8 Mile, and the magnum opus of Adam's career. Number 7, Treasure Planet, always an underrated Disney gem of mine, and one of my most rewatched movies growing up, and I will always love this movie. Number 6, The Bourne Identity, the start to one of the best action franchises that we have gotten in the 2000s. Number 5, Minority Report, another classic from Steven Spielberg. Number 4, Punch Drunk Love. Yeah, I did rewatch this movie. My rate every Paul Thomas Anderson movie, and this instantly rushed up to the list. I don't know. I don't remember if it actually made the list. If I remember correctly, correct me if I'm wrong on that. But yeah, Punch Drunk Love is now in the top 4, honestly, and it's a film I can see definitely growing on me the more time goes on, honestly. Like, yeah, this reason my pick is probably his best movie, honestly. I remember being like top 3 if I remember correctly. I remember being my top 3 if I remember correctly. My Paul Thomas Anderson ranking I did a while back. But yeah, number 3, the original Sam Raimi Spider-Man, the film that pretty much made me fall in love with Spider-Man, who's my favorite superhero of all time. Number 2, Lilo and Stitch. And probably in my top 3 Disney movies of all time, one of the most emotional and fun movies that Disney has ever done. But my number 1 favorite movie of 2002 is Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers. I'll say this is probably the weakest of the trilogy in my opinion, but still be the weakest still means it's an incredible, wonderful, and exhilarating film. But those are my thoughts, honestly. Let me know your favorite movie 2002 down below in the comments. Here are my picks for my 10 best movies of 2003. Number 10, Freddy vs. Jason. I would still prefer Jason. I think it's actually one of the most underrated horror movies out there, honestly. And that whole fight with Jason, that whole fight between like Freddy and Jason is worth the price of admission alone. Number 9, Freaky Friday. Still the best Freaky Friday movie by a landslide. Elizabeth Lohan and Jack Chris have magnetic chemistry, and it's just great moments with some very heartwarming moments as well. Number 8, Bad Santa. A very great R-rated comedy, honestly, with great lead performances. Fortunately, the sequel kind of sucked. Number 7, X2. A much better worthy sequel than the original X-Men, in my opinion. Number 6, Pirates of the Caribbean: Curse of the Black Pearl. Still the best Pirates movie by a landslide. Seven Treasure Shines, I still enjoy the other sequels. Number 5, Kill Bill Volume 1. Yeah, Kill Bill Volume 1. Again, Quentin Tarantino, can't go wrong with him. Number 4, Lost in Translation. Scarlett Johansson and Bill Murray have magnetic chemistry and one of the most unique romance movies that we have gotten, honestly. Number 3, Finding Nemo. That opening scene just rocks you, honestly, but it's a great movie beyond that. Still one of Pixar's best movies. Number 2, Elf, my personal favorite Christmas movie of all time. And number 1, we have Lord of the Rings Return of the King. Still the best Lord of the Rings movie and still probably my top 10 movies of all time, one of the most epic movies ever made. With still the best final battle in any movie, period. But that's my thoughts. Let me know your favorite 2003 down below in the comments. And sometimes I forget that 2004 was a stacked year in movies. I think it's like 7, 8 movies or films I will put in my favorite movies of all time. But here are my takes on my 10 favorite movies of 2004. Number 10, Dawn of the Dead. Still Zack Snyder's best movie. Not sure how much that's in the director, honestly, but it's still one of the best remakes of zombies out there. Number 9, Dodgeball. Another personal favorite comedy of mine that I always love rewatching and coming back to. Number 8, the SpongeBob SquarePants movie. One of the most rewatchable movies of all time, one of the biggest movies of my childhood. Number 7, Collateral. Again, an action thriller. I feel like it's kind of forgotten nowadays, but it's still a really epic thriller. Number 6, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. Definitely one of the best Harry Potter movies, and definitely up there that has one of the best Harry Potter movies that the tone for the rest of the franchise, and had some pretty epic moments of the series. Number 5, Shaun of the Dead. Still probably up the start of the Cornell trilogy, and still a epic zombie movie that's great in terms of comedy aspect, but great in terms of emotion as well. Number 4, Spider-Man 2. A worthy follow-up to the original Spider-Man. Still probably the best Spider-Man movie today, and that's why number 4 should tell you how great the next 3 movies are. Number 3, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Still probably my favorite romance movie of all time. And again, the fact it's only number 3, it should tell you how great the first 2 movies are. Number 2, The Incredibles. Still one of Pixar's best movies and probably the top 3 and one of the most rewatchable for sure. But my personal number 1 is Shrek 2. I'll put this in my top 5 movies of all time, one of my favorite anime movies, period, and DreamWorks' magnum opus. Truly questionable. Again, it's crazy that Shrek movie ended top like 2 and even 3 on my best list, honestly, but yeah. But those are my thoughts. Let me know yours down below. Here are now my picks for the top 10 best movies of 2005. And maybe I'll still with a long green movie, so let's get started. Number 10, Kim Possible, So the Drama. Yes, I have a Kim Possible movie in the top 10. Again, Kim Possible is one of my favorite shows, and it's by a landslide the best movie, honestly. Not saying much, but it really works. Number 9, King Kong. One of the movies I think honestly gets better the more time goes on, honestly. It definitely can be a bit too long, honestly, but it does make for an awesome experience. And the effects on King Kong just kiss. Number 8, Madagascar. I feel like I'm the only person that's going to have Madagascar on the best list, but it's a nostalgia movie for me. I love this series, and hey, I'm actually excited we're actually getting a 4th movie. Number 7, Sky High, nostalgic Disney classic. Number 6, Corpse Bride. Definitely one of Tippin's best movies, in my opinion. One of his best stop motion, one of his best animated movies, and just a really beautiful movie in general. Number 5, Brokeback Mountain. Elevated by excellent chemistry between Jake Gyllenhaal and Heath Ledger, and some of the most emotional moments in a romance film. Number 4, Sin City. The visuals, the world, the characters, all exceptional. Do you want anything about Sin City? Number 3, Wallace and Gromit, The Curse of the Were Rabbit. Another exceptional DreamWorks movie, definitely one of Armin's best movies, and definitely the best thing I see for Wallace and Gromit. I still need to see more of the shorts, honestly, because I think I've only seen the 2 movies, honestly, they've done, honestly, so yeah. Number 2, Batman Begins. Begins. Number 2, Batman Begins. A great start in our trilogy and one of the best origin movies ever. But my number 1 favorite movie of 2005 is still Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. My favorite comedy of all time. Yes, this is my favorite comedy film of all time. Those are my favorite movies of 2005. Let me know yours down below in the comments. Here are my post picks for my top 10 best movies of 2006. Starting with number 10, Mission Impossible 3. Definitely one of the weaker films in Mission Impossible in my head, but aside from Mission Impossible 2 and The Final Reckoning, every movie I would say I've made my best list, honestly, and Mission Impossible 3 is still a pretty underrated film of the franchise. Number 9, the original High School Musical. Again, I do want to make actually a video on these films, actually, honestly, so that's going to be for its own video, but yeah, I love High School Musical. Number 8, Flushed Away. One of the more underrated DreamWorks and animated movies, honestly. I really do enjoy this movie, honestly. I always have a great time whenever I come back to it. Then we have The Pursuit of Happiness at number 7. really a definitely emotional movie that really delivers on the emotion with Will Smith giving a probably might be one of his best performances and just a very emotional, touching movie in general. Number six, V for Vendetta. A movie that like I always forget how good it is when I always forget when I watch it. It's like, yeah, V for that good. Number five, Talladega Nights, The Ballad of Ricky Bobby. Yeah, one of the best comedies in 2000s, bar none. Number four, Rocky Balboa. I always made between this and Korea as the second best Rocky franchise. It at least has my favorite moment in the entire Rocky franchise. Number three, The Party. Martin Scorsese's another masterpiece, Martin Scorsese, bar none. Number two, The Prestige. Definitely a top Christopher Nolan movie, in my opinion. Definitely one that's more underappreciated. I feel like this doesn't really get talked about much nowadays, but after 20 years later, it's still an incredible movie. 20 years, damn. But number one is Casino Royale. Like, as a actually did just rewatch this movie actually since all the Bond movies are now on Netflix. And but yeah, this movie still slaps. Still the best James Bond movie by a landslide. You know, I do actually love a lot of Bond movies nowadays, and I've rewatched a lot of them a long time ago. Who knows? I might give rewatch now, so we'll see. But yeah, those are my picks for the 10 best movies on 6. Let me know yours down below in the comment section. Here are my picks for the 10 best movies of 2007. No, actually, one movie I did see actually that I didn't put on my original list, but I actually will not put time for number one actually, but also when we get there. Number 10, High School Musical 2. Again, I like them so much, they're still not in my, I will put them on my best list. Again, don't know if everyone gets natural video High School Musical, but yeah, I'm still up number 2. Number 9, Knocked Up. A pretty hilarious comedy. A pretty hilarious comedy with several Kevin Hungwood with great performances. It's just an hilarious comedy from beginning to end. Also, how you do already comedies right. Number 8, Ratatouille, another masterpiece from Pixar. Number 7, Superbad, another great hilarious already comedy. Number 6, The Bourne Ultimatum, the best Bourne movie by a landslide. Action, spectacle. Also how you do shake cam right. Number 5, The Simpsons movie. I always have a soft spot movie, and it just gets better every watch. It's supposed to be actually getting a sequel, so can also do with that. Number 4, Meet the Robinsons. Always been a very underappreciated Disney movie, and always been one of my favorites, and it still is. Number 3, Lars and the Real Girl, one of the most underappreciated romance movies you will ever come across. Number 2, Gone Baby Gone, the impressive turtle David Affleck, and still, in my opinion, his best film on screen. Like, I definitely love the town and audio, but this is definitely still his best movie, in my opinion. But number 1 is actually a tie war. I think I originally had Hot Fuzz also on number 1, which is honestly probably my favorite of the. Also, Sean, that's still probably my favorite of the Cornell trilogy, but Hot Fuzz is still fantastic. I would also tie it with There Will Be Blood, which I think is up in the bear be my favorite Paul Times. I never done, which I think might be my favorite Paul Times Anderson movie, because I did actually watch that movie for the first time last year. Yes, I didn't watch There Will Be Blood last year, certainly, but yeah. But yeah, I'll have it tied though with Hot Fuzz, because it is a fantastic western, honestly. But that's my picks. Let me know yours down below. Here are my 10 favorite movies that came out in 2008. Number 10, Iron Man, the MCU movie that started it all. And still a great movie in its own right. Number 9, Pineapple Express, one of probably the best story comedy of all time, and for good reason. Number 8, In Bruges, definitely some of the rest of the best, but for sure, definitely one's more underrated for sure. Great, definitely tonal balance. Number 7, High School Musical 3. Yeah, I can put all the High School Musical movies on these best lists, honestly. This might be the best one of the 3. Number 6, Tropic Thunder. Again, one of the movies I always forget how hilarious it was when I come back to it, but when I watch it, I was like, oh yeah, this movie is so hilarious and so satirical in the best possible way. Number 5, Kung Fu Panda. I've always loved Kung Fu Panda, but I feel like this movie that gets better the more I watch it. I feel like it ages particularly well, actually. Especially with all the emotions, and I mean, I really should have been just like fat joke as a fat joke. Actually gave a pretty wholesome movie. Number 4, Ponyo. Again, one of the most adorable movies of all time. And another excellent film from Studio Ghibli. Number 3, definitely, maybe. Again, one of the most underrated rom-coms of all time, and one I always love coming back to. Again, basically how much you love the movie is the best way to describe it. With great performances from its cast, and Mr. actually ends up being pretty engaging, actually. It's like, who's actually the mother, actually? Number 2, Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Okay, one of my favorite art comics of all time. Probably my director's probably best work in my opinion, and some of the actor's best comedic roles ever. Again, so many comedic moments that still live rent through my head. But number one, obviously, Dark Knight. Do I need to explain it? Those are my picks. Let me know yours down below. Here are my picks for the top 10 best movies of 2009. Number 10, The Blind Side. And to be honest, that wasn't really a strong movie for me, honestly, but Blind Side is still a pretty emotional movie that, while I can't feel for off screen, honestly, it's a pretty touching story nonetheless. Number 9, Star Trek. Again, not really the biggest Star Trek person, honestly, but the reboots were actually pretty good, and this is probably my favorite ones, honestly. I think this one has probably aged the best, honestly, in my opinion. Number 8, The Hangover. Hangover. Again, one of the best Arthur comics ever. Number 7, District 9. Again, District 9, which is a pretty great post-apocalyptic movie, honestly, with some pretty interesting themes, and Neil Blomkamp's still best work, honestly. Starting to think, had a great career after this, honestly. Number 6, 500 Days of Summer. One of the most unique rom-coms of all time. But with his long stature and the characters and everything, and how they're developed, and the way they go for here, like, it's pretty interesting, and you never really know who to actually root for or root against. Number 5, Inglourious Basterds. Definitely on the weekend Tarantino movies, but a weekend Tarantino movie is still fantastic. Number 4, Zombieland. The movie I always will come back to and always puts the biggest grin on my face when I do. Number 3, Up. Again, while the rest is that strong with the first 10 minutes, honestly, the movie is still damn great, honestly. Number 2, Fantastic Mr. Fox. One of Wes Anderson's best work, honestly, and I actually watched it for the first time a few years ago, and I always forget how great this movie is. Like, incredible stop motion, interesting character dynamics, and just really compelling stuff. But number 1 is surprisingly I Love You Man, another incredibly underrated rom-com with Paul Rudd on some of the best works, honestly. Like, if you're not after I Love You Man, I would definitely recommend it. Those are my picks. Let me know yours down below. We finally reached the 2010s in this series, so here's my picks for my top 10 best movies of 2010. Number 10, Tangled. Definitely one of Disney's better movies to come out in 2010s, honestly. It's why it's definitely kind of what you expect from Disney at this point, honestly. It's at least a great movie that has some pretty great moments to it, and has great some music, and it's just a very beautiful song in general. Very beautiful movie in general, really. Probably one of the best couples in any Disney movie ever. Number 9, Just Secret World of Arrietty. One of the weakest Studio Ghibli movies is still in the top 10, so to tell you how great Studio Ghibli is, honestly, but this is definitely an underrated movie, it is, in my opinion. Number 8, Black Swan. We watched Valley is probably why it's not high, honestly, but I get a 90 just the pure, just, oh my god, of this movie. Number 7, The Other Guys. Again, one of my favorite comedies of 2010s, in my opinion. It's just a consistently hilarious movie with 2 great lead performances. That's pretty much all you can ask for. Number 6, Megamind. Definitely a movie that, there's a reason why it's come one of DreamWorks' best movies, honestly. Like, it is a movie I feel like it has gotten better with time, honestly, and for good reason. Again, great characters, great animation, a really actually compelling narrative, and some really good action as well, and also one of DreamWorks' best villains as well. Then we have The Fighter at number 5. A film I feel like doesn't get talked about as much, honestly. I think it's mostly because of the director, which rightfully so, but the film itself is a really gripping sports drama with fantastic performances. Number 4, The Social Network. I don't understand why this movie is great, honestly. Again, David Fincher delivered, David Sorkin does on the writing, and it's supposed to be like it's real successfully this year, actually, but Aaron Sorkin directing, so we'll see how that goes. Then we have Inception at number 3. And clap on my top films I'll put my favorite movies of all time, honestly, with again, Inception being number 3, being basically one because no one's, it's probably because no, a type of Dark Knight probably is magnum opus, honestly, and it's from its reference to a lot of films, and for good reason. Number 2 is actually Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, which like, I always bear between this and Shaun of the Dead as my favorite movie, as my favorite movie before Baby Driver came along, honestly. And Scott Pilgrim is definitely one of Edgar Wright's most rewatchable movies. Like, Edgar Wright just makes movies that are just so endlessly rewatchable, and Scott Pilgrim's no exception. But my number one is actually Toy Story 3. I think my top 3 I've always debated for a bit, honestly, but despite the fact again, one of these movies, Toy Story 3 is still my favorite franchise, honestly. Again, Toilet's not the first time you see a Pixar movie on top of my list, honestly, in this decade. So, yeah, but those are my picks. Let me know yours down below. Now, here are my picks for the top 10 best movies of 2011. Number 10, The Muppets. Yeah, I definitely want to rewatch the other movies at some point, honestly, but this one's still probably would be my favorite, honestly. It's a very heartwarming movie and a very emotional one. That with some fantastic music to boot. Number 9, Fast 5. Still the best Fast and Furious movie by a landslide. I still probably enjoyed the other ones, F9, honestly, but this is definitely by far the best one. And I think it was the right direction to take the franchise after the previous ones. For better for worse. Number 8, Bridesmaids. One of the best comedies of the 2010s, and definitely Paul Big's best comedy in my opinion, and it's just a consistently good one overall. Number 7, X-Men First Class. In my opinion, one of the best X-Men movies. I honestly think it might be one of the greatest feature past. By the way, I always like the simple nature of this movie, honestly, by being a pretty cool message Thailand aspect, but I think it actually works pretty well, actually, and at least to a very emotional climax, honestly. Then we have Companion 2 and number 6, still the best of the Companion movies, honestly. The fact it's actually meant to be better than the first one, honestly, which did make my best franchise any, honestly, is very impressive. Number 5, Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. I always debate which Mission Impossible is always my best one, honestly, and I always debate between this movie and Fallout as my favorite, honestly, and originally the scene honestly proves how insane Tom Cruise is, and this is just an incredible action movie through and through. Then we have Warrior at number 4. I always seem to get how good it is, honestly, trying to look back on, honestly, and it's definitely a very underrated movie to check out, honestly. That's one of the best sports movies I've made, in my opinion. Number 3, Rise of the Planet of the Apes. The Star Wars, the most surprising good trilogy of all time. Still has some of the best moments, in my opinion, of the 2010s, just from this movie alone. Number 2, 50-50. Another very underrated movie, honestly. I feel like I also nowadays don't talk about honestly, but managing it by telling a very serious story of cancer, managed to still be hilarious. It's an incredible feat. But me, my number 1 is still Harry Potter, and definitely that's part 2. I always debate between this and 50-50, my favorite, honestly. But I can slide back to that part 2, honestly, would be an incredible finale overall. And it's still my opinion, my favorite Harry Potter movie. But that's my picks. Let me know yours down below. Now here are my picks for the top 10 best movies of 2012. Number 10, Argo. Argo, yeah, I still think that was a bit more much better, honestly, but Argo is still a fantastic movie in general. Number 9, Looper. A great effective sci-fi thriller by Ryan Johnson. The guy gets way too much hate, honestly. But for the movie, honestly, with great lead performances and a really surprising ending that's just... And it's a really effective thriller with a great concept that delivers. Number 8, Moonrise Kingdom. Might be a very wholesome movie by Wes Anderson. Definitely one of his most innocent movies, honestly, but in the best possible way, with a very sweet romance to boot. Number 7, The Avengers. Even I'm surprised The Avengers is only number 7, honestly, but I still love The Avengers, honestly. Honestly, it's still one of the most kick-ass, badass movies, and still one of the most pure fun and entertaining movies of the MCU. It was an event for a goddamn reason. Number 6, The Cabin in the Woods. The Cabin in the Woods. A very effective horror thriller that had terrible marketing, but it's actually a very effective thriller that really takes the whole cliches and puts them over the head. Still one of the best horror movies of 2010s. Number 5, The Dark Knight Rises. And always going to be an underrated movie in my opinion. Definitely the weakest of the Knight trilogy, but this is still one of the best trilogies of all time in my opinion. Number 4, Silver Linings Playbook. One of the most effective romance movies to come out in 2010s with Jennifer Lawrence, Bradley Cooper delivering magnetic chemistry. Having one of the most realistic personal stories in any romance movie. Number 3, 21 Jump Street. One of the best comedies of the 2010s, honestly, and the fact that it's ended up being as good as it is pretty surprising. But again, Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill, fantastic. This is the film that pretty much put Channing Tatum as an actual good actor, honestly. So yeah, it delivers. Number 2, Skyfall. Definitely has the best Bond song in general, honestly, in my opinion, and it's just a pretty effective movie that has some surprisingly good emotional moments as well. But number 1 is still Django Unchained. Probably my top 3 Tarantino movies. Tarantino at his finest here with some of the most insane Tarantino moments ever. That's my picks. Let me know yours down below. Here are my picks for the top 10. Here are my picks for the top 10 best movies of 2013. Number 10, Lone Survivor. The star of the Peter Berg movies and a great one at that. Number 9, Her. One of the most beautifully tragic romance movies that's made in 2010s, honestly, and with Joaquin Phoenix continuing his incredible shape as an actor. Number 8, The Conjuring. Still the best Conjuring movie in my opinion, the start of this fantastic universe of movies. Number 7, The Wolf of Wall Street. I feel like I should enjoy more than I do, honestly, but it's still a fantastic movie nonetheless. And Martin Scorsese, he's a great director for a reason, so I like he said nowadays. Number 6, Before Midnight. Definitely the end of one of the best trilogies of all time. And Richard Linklater, when he hits, he really hits. And this is definitely a beautiful movie, and teases on with the realistic, beautiful aspects of these movies. Number 5, The World End. Probably the weakest of another trilogy, but even the weakest one is still a fantastic movie in this trilogy, in my opinion. Number 4, The Spectacular Now. One of the most underrated movies that I feel like don't really get talked about much nowadays, honestly. But Miles Teller and Shane Willie deliver some great performances and has one of the most beautiful relationships ever. And definitely goes to directors that you wouldn't expect this time movie to deliver, honestly, and it really does deliver. Number 3, The Wind Rises. Has some of the most beautiful, breathtaking moments in any Studio Ghibli movie. Number 2, Prisoners. The film that basically put Geneva and Louvre on the map, and it is a pretty effective movie. One of the most the what the hell endings ever. But my number 1 is The Tale of the Princess Kaguya. Definitely one of the best movies of 2010s, one of the best anime of 2010, and definitely one of Studio Ghibli's best movies in my opinion. A film that honestly continues to get better the more I think about it. Those are my picks though. Let me know yours down below. Here are my picks for the top 10 best movies of 2014. Number 10, Gone Girl. Another excellent work from the David Adventure, and an incredible twist, and just a really gripping movie overall. Number 9, John Wick. The start of one of the best action franchises of 2010s and 2020s. Like every movie is kick ass, and the original film is no exception. Again, movies which just goes mayhem, just some murders dog. Number 8, The Babadook. One of the most unique horror movies out there, honestly. To why I will say it's not for everybody for sure, honestly, it is definitely a very effective movie and a very great psychological movie, and again, the actress, oh my god, what points. Number 7, 22 Jump Street. I always been between one I think is actually better, 21 Jump Street, honestly. It's definitely I feel like basically the same thing, honestly, though it kind of makes fun, honestly. But it has some of the funniest moments 2010s, and that end credit scene, I can watch that over and over again. Number 6, The Winter Soldier. You know, I'm surprised it's only number 6, honestly, but The Winter Soldier is still a freaking badass movie, and pretty much, well, the MCU has always been good before this, honestly. This definitely put it on the map for sure. Number 5, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. It's always surprising that first one's good, honestly, but its sequel is sometimes be even better. What are the odds of that? With one of the best villains in co-buts and the most badass sequences in any movie that came out in 2010s. Number 4, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. Again, it's crazy that we got a fantastic trilogy. It was crazy that the first one ended up being as good as it was and one of the best MCU movies. Oh my god. Number 3, How to Train Your Dragon 2. My opinion, the best of the How to Train Your Dragon trilogy, honestly. Well, I may follow some moments from other DreamWorks sequels, actually. It still manages to deliver and has some of the most emotionally devastating moments in the DreamWorks has ever done, and now this trilogy in general. Number 2, The Lego Movie. Another genuine surprise, honestly. Was nice by the movie as good as it was. I don't think anybody did, honestly. And yet the movie was like, what? How did this movie end up being so good? But for me, my number 1 is still Whiplash. And the Pershing, which is all on the map, honestly, is the most effective moment. J.K. Simmons, the one of the best support performances ever. Miles Teller, proving how great actor he can be. And one of the best endings in any film, period. But those are my top 10 best of 2014. Let me know yours down below. Now, here are my picks for my top 10 best movies of 2015. Number 10, Cinderella. Still to this day, the best of the legend remakes, honestly, it's not even close. Number 9, Me, Earl, and the Dying Girl. I've always go back and forth on it because of my list, honestly, but it's a fun thing. It's actually a pretty underrated gem that y'all should check out. Number 8, Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. Definitely on a weaker Mission Impossible movie, but it's still a fantastic movie, honestly. It still has fantastic action, and it's just what you expect Mission Impossible at this point. Then we have Mad Max Fury Road, which it's one thing I probably should love more than I should, honestly, but it's still a fantastic action movie as a whole. I feel like I should adore, honestly. I don't for some reason, but it's on the list, though. And number 6, we got Kingsman: The Secret Service, which I'm not sure hot takes. I think it's higher than Mad Max, honestly, but it's a more rewatchable one, in my opinion, and just an incredible action movie with great story, great characters, and a fantastic world as a whole. And hell, I even enjoyed the Golden Circle, even the King's Man, honestly. Don't know when to get the next one, honestly, though. Number 5, The Gift, which is probably one of the most underrated films of all time, honestly. Like, again, J.C. Bateman, Michael Hall, great thriller, directed by Joel Edgerton, shocking ending. Check it out. Number 4, Creed. Still, and that rocket movie ends to be like an incredible surprise. Like, I don't think anybody expects me to be good, honestly, considering significant Dothrey's son of all things. But I ended up delivering, honestly, and delivering some of the most epic moments of the entire franchise. And Seth alone still should have won the Best Supporting Actor. I still stand by that 10 years later. I still stand by that. Number 3, The Last 5 Years. I can't believe I got to actually include this on my actual updated list, honestly, which is kind of crazy, honestly, but it's the most underrated musical of all time. Just check it out. But my top 2 are still the same. Well, my number 2 is Star Wars: Force Awakens. Still, my opinion, one of my favorite Star Wars movies, and it's probably my favorite of the sequel trilogy. And number 1 is Inside Out, my favorite Pixar movie and possibly my favorite anime movie of all time, period. Those are my picks, though. Let me know yours down below. 2016 has been like seriously the worst in my life, but there were also some great movies that came out. So here's my pick for the 10 best movies of 2016. Number 10, Hell or High Water. Still one of the most underrated wrestlers out there. I feel like no one at the top of the movie anymore, honestly, but it's a pretty effective West movie, 2 great performances from the leads, and some pretty surprising moments, honestly, as a whole. Number 9, A Monster Calls. Another surprisingly underrated movie I also feel like no one talks about, honestly. It has a really personal, emotional story, has great performances from its characters, and some of the most visually browsing moments out there, honestly, and it's just a very beautiful told movie. Number 8, Patriots Day. Might be the best of the Mark Wahlberg and Peter Berg movies, honestly. Managed to tell the tragedy of Boston Marathon that so effectively, honestly, with some fantastic ones, especially Mark Wahlberg, which I'm saying this is probably the best performance in my opinion. Number 7, Kubo and the Two Strings. Still one of the most underappreciated anime movies of all time. Like it, and probably like the best movie in my opinion, honestly. Like stuff with that Colin, honestly, but this is probably my favorite movie, honestly, and it's still a great movie coming back all these years later. Number 6, Deadpool. Again, was number 4, honestly, but Deadpool is still consistently hilarious and one of my most rewatchable comedies of the 2010s. Number 5, Pop Star Never Stop, Never Stopping. I've always liked this movie, but this one just continues to grow on me the more I watch it. It's become like an endlessly rewatchable movie, in my opinion. It has so many quotable lines, and the music still kicks ass. Definitely some Andy Samberg's best work for sure. Number 4, The Edge of 17. One of the most underrated comedic movies out there, honestly. It's a very neat told story, honestly, and with hands up, I'll give probably your best performance. Even Willie Hiddleston's great here as well, and it's a very relatable comedy movie, honestly, and being different than most, honestly, with how the story is told. And my top 3 is basically the same top 3. With number 3 going to Captain America: Civil War. Still one of the best MC movies. Number 2 going to Arrival, my personal favorite Denis Villeneuve movie. And number 1, still my favorite musical of all time, La La Land. But those are my picks. Let me know yours down below. Here are my picks for my top 10 best movies of 2017. Number 10, the Lego Batman movie. Again, original Lego movie is always my best one, but this is definitely close second. Still tastes the great Finnick and other Lego movie. Again, it's really disappointing the movies have not doing so well afterwards. What is number 9, The Last Jedi. I don't think I can say more because Last Jedi. But yeah, I love that movie. Number 8, The Disaster Artist. A movie I feel like has gotten forgotten a lot of the time, honestly, but I think it's a great movie in general. Showcasing the room, honestly, and well, not making fun of it, but also sobering as well, honestly. With James Franco delivering a fantastic performance as time was, though. Still, a very rough performance for the Oscars, in my opinion. Number 7, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Probably the weakest of the trilogy, in my opinion, but with the release of Guardians 3 and honestly, if you watch this movie continues to get so much better over time. Story elements definitely gets a lot better. It has probably one of the most emotional moments in the entire MCU. If you're in the movie, you know what I'm talking about. Number 6, War for the Planet of the Apes. Still a perfect conclusion to this incredible trilogy. Probably the least rewatchable movie in this trilogy because of how bleak it is, but it has some fantastic moments, and sorry about the Killing Planet of the Apes. This trilogy ends on a perfect note, creating one of the best trilogies of all time. But again, it's still surprising that we got this. Number 5, Brigsby Bear. A movie that continues to grow on me as time goes on. Just watch it for yourselves. Number 4, Blade Runner 2049, another excellent move by Denis Villeneuve, managed to create a sequel that's just as great as the original Blade Runner and managed to expand the world greatly. It really does suck at bomb level. It really does suck, unfortunately. I bombed hard, fortunately. Yeah, that really sucks. Number 3, Coco, another Pixar movie that I think continues to grow on me over time, honestly. I think rewatching it seeing it so often back in my old Buster Job Monster, you definitely maybe appreciate so much more. Has some pure emotional moments, great animation, and the fact that ending as good as it was is pretty surprising. Number 2, Logan. By the fact that Hugh Jackman did come back, this is still the best X-Men movie by a landslide. And it's basically The Last of Us, but with Logan, and it delivers. It was an incredible movie with still some of the most emotional, badass moments in the entire X-Men franchise. Probably stupid movies in general. But again, number 1 Fever Driver, which again is my favorite movie of all time. I might make a video on that at some point, so but that's my thoughts. Let me know yours down below. Here are my picks for the top 10 best movies of 2018. Number 10, Blockers. I can always between this again, not much one, but honestly, but Blockers is one that I continue to enjoy the more I watch it. It's become a movie that I've come out to often, and I still think it's one of the most underrated horror comedies that came out in the 2010s. I feel like people don't have much anymore, but Number 9, Love, Simon. I saw it like a couple months before it came out, honestly, and it's a movie that continues to grow me the more I watch it, especially after Blood Break 2 came out, honestly. Maybe appreciate this movie so much more. Number 8, The Hate You Give. Also a very underrated movie that has like two of my favorite scenes that came out that year. A great cast, a great performance. It's a movie that had a message that I feel like it should be preachy, but it actually isn't. It actually tells a very deep story, honestly, and it's one I continue to love the more I think about it. Number 7, Annihilation. Probably my pick from the best Alex Garland movie, honestly, and it's a movie that the more I think about it, the more I just get. Like, I remember seeing it in theaters being blown away, and I still am blown away every time I watch it. Number 6, Mission Impossible Fallout. I was compared forward between this movie and Ghost Protocol as my favorite Mission Impossible movie, and the action is just phenomenal. While Henry Cavill delivering a great performance as well, and having one of the more compelling stories in the entire franchise. Number 5, honestly, these top 5 movies actually all pretty my favorites of all time, actually. Number 5, Hereditary. I actually put my top 10 best horror movies of all time. Still Ari Aster's magnum opus, and still one of the most unique, psychologically beautiful, wonderful horror movies that came out over the last like 5-10 years. I'm just going that for. Number 4, A Star Is Born. Again, after now seeing actually the previous version of Star Is Born, this is still the best one, honestly. Bradley Cooper, Gaga, great chemistry. The music, it's still iconic for a reason. I still hear a lot of the music here in karaoke, so the movie definitely left an impact for sure. Number 3, Into the Spider-Verse. Again, prove that Sony Pictures can make a good movie, honestly. The animation is still influential in other movies, and it's still just one of the best Spider-Man movies ever. Number 2, Avengers Infinity War. Again, the build up to 10 years, and honestly, despite the fact that the snap didn't have much like it should, still has an incredible movie that has great performances, great character moments, some of the most bombastic, insane moments in the entire MCU. But number 1 is still a great, my favorite 24 movie, and my favorite coming of age movie of all time. Again, might also make a video about this movie at some point, but it's a movie that's probably the most relatable movie I've ever seen in my life. Those are my thoughts though. Let me know your best movie 2018 down below in the comments. Yeah, my best for the top 10 best movies of 2019. Number 10, Uncut Gems. John Safdie's incredible magnum opus, where he's like anxiety-thrilled movie where Adam Sandler give my opinion his best performance. Number 9, Fighting With My Family. A very heartwarming sports movie that continues to grow on me the more I watch it. Definitely predictable cliche for sure, but some of the F1 it proves that predictable cliche. Doesn't mean you can still actually enjoy it and give me that proof with Fighting With My Family. Number 8, How to Train Your Dragon 3. Probably the weakest of the How to Train Your Dragon trilogy, but it's still an incredible movie that has so many beautiful moments and has an incredible ending. Number 7, Dr. Sleep. Proof that Mike Flanagan can really deliver when he has to make a sequel to The Shining, one of the most celebrated horror movies of all time, and he delivers. Truly an incredible sequel that's honestly one of the best horror movies to come out in the 2010s. Number 6, Waves and Booksmart. I decided to do a title here because honestly I realized I actually got to include Booksmart in my original 2019 video, which I don't know why, honestly, but Waves, an incredible underrated A24 movie that's a beautiful, breathtaking movie, and Booksmart, one of the most hilarious horror comedies of the 2010s. Number 5, The Peanut Butter Falcon. A very simple movie, but a very beautiful, wonderful movie that is just so wonderful to watch, and honestly continues to get better the more I watch it. Number 4, Toy Story 4. I'm not sure this movie actually makes my top 4. So one, I would say this probably is the weakest of the Toy Story movies in my opinion. It's still an incredible movie in my opinion, honestly. I think it's honestly, in my opinion, unfairly hated. Did we need it? No. But hey, it delivered. Number 3, Knives Out. A truly wonderful movie that's a great murder mystery. Ryan Johnson delivers some of his best work here. And by work here, the mystery was compelling, the characters were fantastic. Again, it's a movie that did make my top 100 of all time, and I'll probably still put on the list, honestly. Number 2, Marriage Story. One of the most realistic, beautiful romantic dramas of all time, with Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson given their career by performances again. Well, that fighting scene has now pretty much ruined this point, honestly. It's an incredible scene in general. But number 1 is still Avengers Endgame. Probably still my favorite MCU movie, and probably like it always will be my favorite movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Those are my picks though. Let me know yours down below in the comments. But I thought that nothing much came out in 2020. There also was a great movie, so here are my picks for the 10 best movies to come out in 2020. Number 10, Promising Young Woman. A movie that actually does pretty interesting stuff with its concept, and it actually has some pretty harrowing moments, and the actress delivers a phenomenal performance. Number 9, The Truck, Child 7. A movie that's definitely kind of made for the Oscars, but at least Aaron Sorkin's sharp writing and the extra performances really do save it. Number 8, Onward. I'm pretty sure nobody would actually put Onward this high, honestly, but it's a movie I found to be very relatable, honestly, and it's probably one of the more underrated movies in my opinion. Number 7, Palm Springs. A fairly consistent good comedy with Andy Samberg consistently have fantastic chemistry in it. Probably one of the better timely movies to come out in recent memory. Number 6, The Invisible Man. And Alyssa Moskow's one hell of a performance, even though his directing is fantastic. Fortunately, I wish he could necessarily walk me earlier this last year, but just how it is. Now 5, Minority. A very simple movie, but a very refreshing and a very charming and realistic movie with excellent performances. Definitely deserve all the love it received at the Oscars. Number 4, Birds of Prey. Pretty sure I'm the only person gonna have Birds of Prey this high, honestly, but what? I'm pretty sure I'm the only person gonna have Birds of Prey this high on the list, honestly, but it's kind of one of these movies that I come back to the most and have the most fun with the most. So again, you like this, it's definitely, I don't know if it will be honest if it wasn't the year 2020, but Birds of Prey is still a great movie in my opinion. Definitely, in my opinion, one of the best DC movies. I'm pretty sure I'm not the only person going to think that, but because I'm haunting, I guess. Number 3, The Father. And I think we're just number 2 actually, but I think I dropped one spot honestly. But The Father is still a fantastic movie. Probably not movie I don't really see myself come back to often, but Anthony Hopkins' performance really does elevate it, especially with the new directing as well. Number 2, Sound of Metal. A movie I feel like it's gone under the radar actually. But has some of the best sound design of the entire year. It has some incredible performances and tells a really emotional and compelling story. But my number 1 favorite movie of 2020 is, without question, Soul. Soul, Soul, Soul. Again, another excellent movie from Pixar. Definitely might be one of the best movies. Probably the most real and mature Pixar movie that you will ever get. And considering the time this movie came out, the messaging of this movie really just tell you that. But yeah, those are my picks for the best movies of 2020. Let me know yours down below in the comments. Now here are my picks for the top 10 best movies of 2021. Number 10, Luca. Luca, a very underrated Pixar movie that honestly continues to get better the more you get. Definitely not going to be amongst the best Pixar, but even those films are still, in my opinion, great, honestly. And Luca is a very simple movie, but a very effective movie. Number 9, Zack Snyder's Justice League. The long length does make it not as rewatchable as other super movies, honestly, but there were still moments that still lift right from my head, so not to where it still ends up making the list. Number 8, Coda. One of the few best picture winners I can actually, I'm okay with, honestly, because it is a beautifully told movie with a great message to it and really good performances as well, to boot. Number 7, A Quiet Place Part 2. Somehow even better than the first Quiet Place, honestly. One of the most effective horror movies to come out in the 2020s, and I cannot wait to see what else they do with this franchise going forward, because all these movies have been really good so far. Number 6, Last Night in Soho. Definitely amongst the weak great movies, but even here the weaker movies are still fantastic. That still makes the top 5, close to top 5, honestly. And it's definitely a very unique great movie, honestly. And while it's probably not going with everybody, honestly, it most did for me. Number 5, Dune. Dune. An incredibly effective movie that really delivers on the punch, the visual effects, and the great emotion that the story needed, honestly. And which part 2 actually elevated, honestly. We'll see what happens in part 3, but Denis Villeneuve has done it again. Number 4, Encanto. Definitely a film I felt got a lot of hearies, honestly, but it's one I definitely really enjoyed for sure. Like, incredibly beautifully animated this movie that I definitely enjoyed coming back to. Number 3, No Time to Die. Now, Jillian, I don't go back for it, my number 2, honestly, but this is still one of the best James Bond movies I've actually been watching very recently, honestly, and it's a perfect end to this era of James Bond, and this gives I think he did not do it, can't wait to see what he does with the next Bond movie. Number 2, The Suicide Squad. Still the best film in the DCU by a landslide. But number 1 is another superhero movie, and that is Spider-Man No Way Home. Yeah, I plan on making a video of my own video on someone, honestly, but this is still one of the best Spider-Man movies, honestly, and one of the best MCU movies in general, in my opinion. That's my picks, though. Let me know yours down below in the comments. Here are my picks for the top 10 best movies of 2022. Number 10, Black Panther Wakanda Forever. They've gone down a little bit on my original list, honestly, but it's still a great movie, honestly, that honestly, I think it's much better than the first one, honestly. Number 9, Everything Everywhere All at Once. I'm not sure if I want this movie to honestly, but it's still a really inventive movie that delivers some of the most touching emotional moments and some of those weirdest moments of the entire year, but it delivers. Number 8, The Menu. We don't make a concept just, like this, honestly, very thrilling and scary with great performances from his cast all around. And with one of the most, what the hell endings in the entire 2020s. Number 7, Glass Onion. I think the first night out is going to be my favorite one of the films, honestly, in my how much they make, but this is definitely a close second at least. I can choose on with the greatness and the charm of the first one at least. Number 6, Top Gun Maverick. We're new legacy, pretty much the pure definition of how you do a legacy sequel right. Honestly, I think this is actually much better than the original Top Gun, honestly. Number 5, Barbarian. Jack Ricker's debut, honestly, and what a debut was. I actually saw it in movie theaters, actually, and it absolutely delivers on the horror in this series. Number 4, Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. Number 4, Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, honestly, a movie that continues to get better the more you watch it. A beautifully haunting movie with some beautiful music, beautiful animation, and such beautiful storytelling. Probably, in my opinion, Guillermo del Toro's best movie, in my opinion. I'm not sure how much haunting that is, but that's just my opinion. Number 3, The Fabelmans. Another epic, amazing beautiful movie by the great director himself, Steven Spielberg. Just an incredible movie that with just very real emotions and just a very pure movie in general that's very relatable as well. Number 2, The Batman. The Batman we all believe for on seeing 2 hours. The Dark Knight's still the best Batman. I think The Dark Knight's always going to be the best Batman movie in my opinion. The Batman is a close second, for sure. Cannot wait to see what they do with part 2. But number 1 is actually still Puss in Boots' Last Wish, which you guys don't know actually is my favorite movie of the 2020s. I can't believe it either. Those are my picks though, let me know yours down below. My picks for the top 10 best movies of 2023. Number 10, Talk to Me. Again, it's great that YouTube has actually managed to make a movie that's this realistic and this pure and this interesting, but it delivers. And but being a little disappointed with the follow-up and bring it back, I cannot see what these guys do in the future. Number 9, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning. That actually really does meld with me, honestly. It delivers what I love most about this franchise, honestly. Number 8, Killers of the Flower Moon. I don't remember how high it was on my original list, honestly, but this is still an excellent film, honestly, guys. I think the length in general does prevent rewatch value in my opinion, but the effectiveness still puts on the list. Number 7, The Boy and the Heron. Not one of the best of the best of Studio Ghibli, but still a movie that's still fantastic. That's still not one of the best, it's still fantastic. Number 6, The Holdovers. One of my new favorite Christmas classic, one I could definitely see climb more on the list the more I think about it, honestly. But the movie has basically become like a pure Christmas classic that I watch now pretty much every year since it came out in 2023. Number 5, Barbenheimer. Yes, I'm putting both Barbie and Oppenheimer here, because I still cannot say which one I enjoy more, actually. I'm dead serious. Number 4, The Iron Claw. One of the most beautifully emotional movies of the 2020s, honestly, with some of the most pure, raw, emotional moments of the decade. And the cast and the directing, holy shit, this movie really delivers. Number 3, John Wick Chapter 4. Might have been the best of John Wick movies, and I pretty much enjoyed all the John Wick movies, so that's definitely saying something. Number 2, Across the Spider-Verse. I definitely one I actually enjoy more than Into Spider-Verse, honestly, but it's still what I love most about the previous Spider-Verse movies. But number 1 is still Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, my personal favorite of the trilogy, and a number that's also one of my favorite MCU movies. Those are my picks though, let me know yours down below. Okay, here are my picks for the top 10 best movies of 2024, and I definitely just worked down once a little bit, at least, amazing. There's also a movie out of here that I watched from a YouTuber's video actually that recommended an anime movie on, so there's a new video that came on this, but anyways, number 10, Nosferatu. Bob Rock is best movie, honestly, and it actually makes me excited to see what he does with his werewolf movie coming out later this year. Number 9, Nora, and that best picture winner that I'm perfectly okay with, honestly, and a really hilarious movie, but very interesting and emotional movie, honestly. I was not expecting to enjoy Nora as much as I did, honestly, but here we are. Number 8, You Are the Universe. Do you think Felony Space Ninja, who recommended it in a video talk about underrated movies? And I will say just check it out. Number 7, Transformers 1. Again, this one just continues to get better than what I think about it, honestly. And it's honestly my favorite Transformers movie, and it is a damn freaking shame we are not going to get a sequel to this. Why? You had to stop the marketing. Why? Number 6, Wicked. Again, fantastic musical, fantastic characters, fantastic music as a whole, and great performances, and just a wonderful movie as a whole. Number 5, Terrifier 3. Again, these movies kind of split spots, honestly, but Terrifier 3, again, gets read more deep about it, is my personal favorite of the Terrifier movies, one of the best horror movies of the 2020s, and just everyone that combines like the both elements of the first two movies, so because of that, it is my personal favorite out of the 3 movies so far. And my top 4 is still the same. Number 4, Dune Part 2, I think it's better than the first one. Number 3, Deadpool Wolverine, probably my favorite Deadpool movie in my opinion. Number 2, Inside Out 2. Of course, still kind of for the original because it's my favorite anime movie ever, but Inside Out definitely elevates a lot of the material, a lot of the stuff from that first movie. And my number 1 is still DreamWorks' is still Wild Robot. The second time this decade that DreamWorks movie topped my list, honestly. I realized they actually topped a lot of my list actually, but anyway, DreamWorks hits, they hit. Those are my picks though, let me know yours down below. And now we get to the A++ tier films. I'll definitely put some of my favorite movies of the year. And there's actually one movie I ended up adding on to here that I did not actually see before the original list, but you know, man, that happens. But first, most of the movies that probably didn't make my list are still here, with Predator Balance be another surprisingly good Predator movie. It's crazy that Disney Killer Kills end up being pretty good movies. And then we get Zootopia 2 to it. It's definitely a film that, like I mentioned before, I can see, like, you know, rise up on my list to all watch them. Because, you know what I'm saying? It definitely has potential to make it higher up in the why I watch it, honestly. I think I've only seen like once or twice so far, so. But it's still a worthy success, and it might be a lot better than the first one, honestly. I'm not sure how authentic that is. And there's Oh Hi, which is basically one of the most underrated movie to come out this year, honestly. I feel like everyone should check out. Then we have Fantastic Four First Steps, which, you know, is a damn good Fantastic Four movie. Finally. Finally. And then F1, which is a fantastic racing movie, and the film that just actually not made the top 10, honestly, Emily, the Little Emily, or the Character of Rain, which is one of the most beautiful animated movies I've seen in quite some time, and it's a very emotional movie at that. Like, honestly, I would recommend check out Little Emily or the Character of Rain if you guys somehow have not. And then the 3 are still the same, honestly, with, you know, Sinners, and then They Can Go, and then One Battle After Another. All fantastic, generally great movies. And these next 5 movies are basically on to the same generally the same top 5 that I did in my original top 20 best movies. I'm like, oh, probably going to be the same top 5 if I'm being honest. And yeah, maybe one of these films might change, honestly. Like, I could potentially see my number 3 and 5 changing a little bit at some point down the road, but these are the films I think are the true upper echelon of films, and films I'll put in my A++ tier. Films I would say are potentially, I would say, are like the best movies I've seen, honestly. With number 5 being Roofman. Yes, I think this movie's that good, honestly. Probably the most underrated movie to come out this year. Again, a movie that continues to get better the more I think about it. And then there's Weapons, which, you know, is, after thinking about it, I think it's honestly better than Barbarian, honestly, and I think that was possible. Then we have The Life of Chuck at number 3. Definitely up there as probably Michael Lincoln's best movie, if I'm being honest, and I wasn't think it would be possible either. And my top 2 is all the same, my number 2 being Superman, and my number 1 still being K-pop Demon Hunters. Because that movie ended up being my favorite last year, honestly, but hey, it's a movie that got me through a lot of what I've been through last year, so yeah. And I probably love Team Hunters. I wasn't even thinking it'd be number one, honestly, but like, the more I thought about it, the more like, yeah, it's definitely number one. So I hope you enjoyed me these shorts of me going through all the 2025 films, honestly. And let me know your favorites and least favorites down below, honestly. And let me know your thoughts on all the movies that I discussed, honestly. And it's crazy I saw like 176 movies last year, but here we are.